Asante sana.
It's good to see you. Na najua bwana SG Wanok alisema mambo ya football ashughulikange nayo lakini nimemwambia hiyo unaweka tu kwa mapafu, unapumua in and out, unasonga nazo. SG, hii mambo ya football ulisema hapana. But una hosting president wangu Hussein Mohamed.
Kwa sasa kwa World Cup
yes.
Na concentrate na CommonWealth Games.
Yes. Karibu sana for that. Of course, and I know already we having several teams that are already going there in batches, in different groups. For, of course, we shall be participating in about several disciplines. Are they 12 around?
Yes, 12
about
events.
12 disciplines.
Yes.
We have over 90 athletes and so on. Tell us about the whole contingent. How many are we? Which kind of events are we going to participate? And where do we expect to kuvuna? Karibu.
Yeah, thank you so much. Thank you for hosting me this afternoon.
Anytime.
Yes, and as you've said, at the moment, our focus is on CommonWealth.
Correct.
Not World Cup, because Kenya is not there. But we believe we will end up there one day.
2030 or 2034.
And the under-17 starlets.
There, yeah, the junior starlets, of course, are there.
So in terms of 2026 CommonWealth Games, our contingent is comprised of 91 athletes.
Yes.
About 37 technical officials.
Yes.
We have about 12 management. Then, of course, a few members from the government.
Yes.
Looking at around 170 entire contingent. We'll be participating in 12 disciplines.
Yep.
12 disciplines and yes, 12 disciplines. That inclusive of the able and the para.
Yeah, the para.
So we have athletics as our main, with about 52 athletes.
That's correct.
Yeah, 49 athletes. No, 47 athletes. No, let's just go with 52 and officials.
Officials, okay.
Yes, and then we have swimming, we have boxing, bowling, we have cycling, weightlifting, basketball 3-on-3, and then basketball wheelchair, and then we have also para cycling and para powerlifting. So in total we have 12 disciplines that we'll be showcasing in Glasgow. Yeah.
And of course I remember just before the first batch of teams left, the British High Commissioner to Kenya, His Excellency Bo, yes, was able, of course, to host part of the squad or the contingent that will be that is, of course, headed to Glasgow at his official residence in Nairobi, and there was, of course, a replica. There was a souvenir, of course, you gave His Excellency the High Commissioner.
Yes.
There was also that engagement where, of course, the government was able to commit in supporting this particular event, where, of course, I was able to see Bwana Kipchumba Ruto, who was there to represent the CS for Sports and the PS for Sports. Let's start, of course, from that gesture by the High Commissioner to host part of the team. And what did that mean, of course, for the squad?
Yeah, we were invited for a dinner by the British High Commissioner, and that was a very good and nice gesture as a send-off.
Yes.
We are going to the UK.
Yes, correct.
Yeah, so we are hosting him here in Kenya, and
Yes.
he'll be hosting us back there
In
during
Glasgow.
the CommonWealth Games.
Yes.
So it was a very nice gesture to have athletes, share, get some relaxation after the trainings, the busy days.
Yes, yes.
And as a ceremony, a send-off ceremony.
Yes.
And of course, Kenya and Britain, of our historical background, that was nice to show that we're still friends, we're still ready to work together, and they're still ready to support us. And as Team Kenya, we really appreciated that. And of course, we thank the High Commissioner for doing that. And we're inviting other people to come and, motivate the team, support them. Not even by hosting dinners, there are so many things that they need in terms of equipment, sanitary, sanitary wares and food.
Yes.
We had Brookside the other day, came to the camp and donated over 3,000, packets of milk. And milk is very essential for any athlete.
True.
Yeah, and we are still talking to more and more sponsors. So our door is open. Anybody who's willing to be part and parcel of Team Kenya, to support Team Kenya, they're welcome. Replica, you mentioned the
signed. That's national team.
We solely rely on the government to support Team Kenya.
Yes.
But we're also trying to reach out and try to find ways and means on how we can raise money.
Yeah, okay.
So we trying to come up with merchandise that we can sell and generate some money to support Team Kenya. It's a process. You know, most people only get to know of the CommonWealth when the event is there, the 10 days that the event will take place.
Yes.
But it's a long process. It's a journey that starts, you know, way back 2 years or a year before.
Yes.
You know, there's some teams that had to go through qualifiers for them to make it to the games, and then there are open slots. So open slots means the games management will tell you, for example, in boxing, bring 2 or 3 or 4 in this category. So they specifically tell you how many and what to bring. But there are events that you have to go through a qualifier for you to be able to take part. Yeah. So the sports that had to go through the qualifiers are weightlifting, I think cycling, about 3, 4. The rest are open qualification.
Okay.
Yeah.
And of course, I remember you mentioned about the support that you receive, of course, from the private sector. And recently, just sticking also still at the residence of the High Commissioner, you are there together with the President of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, Bwana Shadrack Maluki. Please pelekee salamu zangu, rafiki yangu mzuri sana. I was able, of course, to meet him in that particular event. And of course, I'm mentioning him in terms of being the leader of the NOC, in terms of this entire group that is going to the Commonwealth Games. But also I'm looking at that particular event also whereby you also mentioned about the National Olympic Committee Foundation.
Yes.
You're looking about the welfare of the athletes. There is that foundation. You've mentioned, of course, a private sector is coming up, and there's this particular foundation under the leadership of Shadrack Maluki, President. Of course, you're trying to ensure that besides just them participating in the Commonwealth Games, I mean, there is a pathway from hapa, wakicheza, and life after.
Yes. Yeah, it's a great concern to all Kenyans. You see, most of the time athletes come on television saying, I represented the nation.
Yes.
Yeah, and if you look at their condition or their situation, it's not something that is pleasing to the eyes of Mwananchi, or even to us who are in the sports management. Now, as National Olympic Committee of Kenya, we're trying to work with other groups or other sponsors and figure out or come up with a way on how we can support athletes during and even after their active play, them being active in sports. Because this is a very big challenge. Even at IOC level, it's a concern. Recently, IOC came up with a fund that will support all the Olympians. You'll be given $10,000 to support you. If you want it for training, if you want it for education, if you want it for anything you want it for, as long as you justify, you give a plan, and they see that that plan can work.
Yes.
So anybody who goes to, who will participate in any Olympics from Milano in December will be eligible for $10,000 just to ensure that any Olympian is taken care of. Yeah. So as National Olympic Committee, we're also trying to see how do we or how can we put up a fund that can help athletes even after their active sessions in sports. So it's still a plan. We are talking to other people, other stakeholders, and once the plan is ready, we will, bring it out and explain how it works. Yeah, but it's a major concern.
Yeah, it is. And I remember, of course, there was also the time when your leadership, of course, under NOC, there was also where teams were being given grants a while back, of course, for preparations. Yes. Of course, we're already seeing these taking shape, so I'm sure definitely what you are working on as a committee of NOC definitely will just fit into already something that is already ongoing, because you're supporting either single athletes or teams and all that. And of course, I'm also talking about one of our, as we look at on the road to 2028, one of our star athletes, Angela Okutoi, who currently understand at least there are steps towards enabling her to actually achieve the points necessary for qualification for LA 2028. Of course, speaking around Angela Okutoi, and of course many other athletes, and of course towards Commonwealth Games, because Commonwealth Games is just a step towards, we're just getting into LA 2028.
Yeah.
Because the journey started, remember, I was with you at in Machakos County when there was that conversation with the presidents and ST towards LA 2028.
Yes, Tony, you know or not, maybe you don't know, but you being in sports, you should know this. For you to be able to participate in LA 2028, it's a process.
Yes.
And it started the day Paris ended.
Correct.
Yeah, qualification process started in 2024. So it's not just, you just don't wake up one day and say that I'm good, like you've mentioned Angela. Angela needs to accumulate over 500 points, which you cannot accumulate in a month or in a year. You have to consistently play and consistently play well so that you earn those points.
Yes.
Otherwise, you can be #1 in Africa and you don't meet that threshold, you will not make it to the Olympics. Likewise, other sports, even weightlifting, they have started their qualifier process.
Yes.
World athletics, they go by time,
Yep.
and they tell you for you to make it through these games, you must be within this time frame.
Yes.
So everybody's chasing time. Yeah.
So that's
And you see, at the end of the day, we are given 3 slots in every event in the Olympics. So the 3 will be on top are the ones. Of course, the trials have also to be done here, and the trials are done based on your time. So it's a long process, and it's a tedious process. So as National Olympic Committee, we come in to support where we can. Of course, the government is also has been very, very supportive. They have supported teams to the qualifiers, and that is the expensive part of this process. Many people only see the 10 days or the 20 days, the 2 weeks of the event.
yes.
But in the background, a lot of work goes into play.
Yes.
A lot of traveling, a lot of competitions, a lot of training, a lot of support, a lot of So it needs a lot of money, and that's why we are reaching out to many stakeholders, just to make them understand that it's not the 2 weeks or the 1 week that you see. What we need support on is the process, because if you do not have a clear and a well-supported process, you will end up with no one in the Olympics. Yet everybody wants to see you in the Olympics. And of course, being at the Olympics, it's not just being in the Olympics. You need to be there to be competitive, just participate and win, or even do well, not just sending people for the sake of sending people.
Yes.
So the government is working with us. They're really supporting us. We're also working together alongside other stakeholders, Nike, CommonWealth Games Federation, the sponsors who are coming on board in whatever way. Some in small, some are big. We are talking to Safaricom, we are talking to KBL, we are talking to many guys, so that in our way or in our pathway to LA, we have good support and we have a clear plan on how we're going to do it. So yes, the points must be gotten, the times have to be achieved, and then the slots, the positions. Some goes by ranking, maybe #1 and 2, or #1 in a category. Some it's timing, some it's the point. So each sport has its own pathway. And that is established by the International Federation alongside IOC, with IOC. So it's not National Olympic Committee that decides that we want to take 200 or we want to take 400 or we want to take marathon only or weightlifting only. No. So the international federations sit down with IOC, they come up with that pathway, that process, and they give timelines from this date to this date. So within that window, if you've not made it, you're out. Yeah. And
of course, and I know, of course, you've highly spoken about the involvement of the government.
Yes.
And government, of course, is very critical for athletes, both internally and externally. And of course, even before we started this show, we were having a side show, a side chit-chat about the welfare of our athletes. Not to drag you into matters of football, of course, recently when our national team, football team, ladies team, Harambee Starlets were, of course, headed to France before they go to the Africa Cup of Nations. There were jitters around allowances. I hope you've arrested that situation in Team Kenya. And of course, how has the government been involved? Because, at the end of this show, athletes will come to us, or they normally speak to us, and they say, oh, Tony, the president says our allowance is 200, but they have given us $60. Officials have eaten my $140. That has to be clear.
Yeah, there's usually issues around allowances, but unfortunately the government goes by a circular that is originated from the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. The one that is being used currently was done in 2016, SARA-SAREM.
Yes.
Yeah, Salaries Remuneration Commission.
Yes,
so you cannot pay outside that schedule. If they say you are paid locally 1,000 or 2,000 shillings or 3,000 shillings, that's what they have to go by. Because at the end of the day, that's what the auditor will use to audit the books. If the president makes a pronouncement and a circular is not done to make a follow-up with the relevant department or commission or ministry to make it a policy, then the government officials or officers who are in charge of finance cannot just pay by that. So it's a concern, and it's a conversation that has been going on. Not today. I remember 2022 we had a similar conversation, trying to work with the parliament, trying to work with the Ministry of Sports, you know, to take it through the Salaries and Remuneration Commission to revise the rates. So it's a conversation that is going on, but unfortunately, as at now, we're still using the 2016 rates.
Because I remember in 2024 we had the same conversation.
Yes.
Of course, I'm looking at the Olympics in 2024
Yeah.
Paris. The president made an announcement. I think some athletes were happy, others were not happy, because I know it was at the heat of the moment. You had performed extremely very well. 2024, now it's 2 years. How is that conversation? I mean, for the sake of the audience who are like, okay, now we are still using the one for 2016. Sasa tuko happy saa hii.
It's a tough conversation, and you know the way the government works. The government has its own procedures,
Yes.
and bureaucracy on how they do things.
Yes.
So until that is done, there's nothing that can be done. Even if I would wish, or you would wish, that people be paid, you know, better or better allowances.
Yeah.
But it has to go through that process. That's the unfortunate thing. It can only be worked at the government level, as we can only, you know, request,
recommend,
yes. And you know, we did recommend. I think there was an exercise that was done. I think that 2 years ago we were asked for recommendations, and we did give in our recommendation. But unfortunately, that has not materialized.
Yes.
So what is being used is the 2016. Yeah.
Of course, yeah, I know. If you're joining us, I have the Secretary General of the National Olympic Committee of Kenya. That is, of course, John Ogolla. He, of course, to share about a very important championship. That is, of course, the 2026 Commonwealth Games. That will be held from the 23rd to the 2nd of August, 23rd July to the 2nd of August. You can imagine, of course, the World Cup is ending on the morning of 20th July. 2 or 3 days later, Kenya will be taking center stage in Glasgow, Scotland, in different disciplines. About over 10 disciplines that Kenya are participating in, and Kenya has always performed extremely very well in terms of the number of medals they bring back home. And of course, that's a conversation we're having. And just one last question, of course, as we wind up this conversation on the Commonwealth Games with the Secretary General of the National Olympic Committee. Of course, here with under the blessings, or from the blessings of the President of the National Olympic Committee, that is Shadrack Maluki. Bwana SG, the pressure, not say the pressure, but athletes are expected to perform. And I was with the likes of course, during that dinner, my very good friend Javelin Star, our legend in javelin, that is Julius Yego. Yes, amongst other athletes, both para. I was, of course, with some of the other the power lifters who have also hosted here. They were very happy to have qualified, of course, for the Commonwealth Games. How do you think the performance will be compared, of course, to our last Olympics? And remember, after this particular Commonwealth Games, the calendar is very busy. We are getting the youth games again.
Yes.
Muko very busy.
Actually, before the youth games,
yes,
we have Zone 5 games in Kenya from August 24th to 27th.
Wow. Wow.
So then immediately the youth Olympic Youth Games in Dakar. So in terms of preparation, I have to confess that this time we've had one of the best preparations. the government has supported us for 35 days in the local camp,
Good.
which is a very good, in terms of performance.
Yes.
And the experts that we've also involved
Yeah.
in terms of preparing and working with the teams and the athletes. And of course, I had mentioned before the stakeholders, the sponsors who've come on board. Kasarani is treating the athletes very well.
Okay.
We have nutritionists
Yes.
working with Kasarani, and everybody is, their diet is monitored, and the food that people are eating, you know, is balanced. We are not just eating. We have other experts like strength and conditioning
Yes.
that is working with athletes, trying to, you know, look at the weaknesses, you know, in terms of their sports and correcting. We have sports scientists who are working with athletes in terms of their rest, recuperation, and, you know, very, very many things. We have even mental specialist or skills
Yes.
specialist who is trying to motivate and trying to teach our athletes on how to handle pressure,
Yes.
you know, and of course, plus others, the coaches now, the technical, the medics, and, you know, so the preparation has been very well and has been very well supported. And I believe if we continue on this path as a nation, we will be able to perform very well. Our coaches are getting more enhanced, upskilled.
Yes.
We've had technical conferences for our coaches, and we'll continue having more towards 2028. Because, as you know, that's an area that we've not paid a lot of attention in. But at current National Olympic Committee is paying a lot of attention in terms of technical capacity of our coaches. Because without good coaches, or without good coaching knowledge or professional qualifications, and certifications, then that we cannot, you know, make our athletes perform. The world is catching up with us. You know, all these teams, all these countries that are defeating us, 5,000, 10,000 pledges, whatever. They all train here with us.
Yes.
They all train here with us. They come and get an hotel here in Iten, and throughout the year they are here.
Yeah, they're with us. They train.
So they learn us. So unless we up our game,
Yes.
we can no longer rely on our talent, our natural
The
talent.
strength of the ugali.
Yes, no,
Science
no.
now.
We have to use some science in terms of training, you know, in terms of preparations, so that our athletes can perform at that level that we expect them to perform at. The government has supported us for the local camp. They have paid the allowances. This morning, I believe all the athletes have been paid, or were paid the allowances. Their morale is high. Those who've traveled, every money is wired into your account, so wherever you are, whether you traveled before yesterday or today, you still meet your money wherever you are. So in terms of morale, in terms of support, government, technical and tactical, we are in good space. And I believe if things goes on well the way we anticipate, we're going to do better than Birmingham 2022. And of course, our good performance was in India 2010, where we had about 35 medals. When we went to Scotland in 2014, we had 25. And when we came to Birmingham, we had 21. So we expect that with the kind of preparation that we've had this season, we should go beyond 21.
Okay.
Maybe take it to 26, 27.
Yes.
If everything goes on well. Because you all know that most of our medals come from the athletics.
Yes.
And we did our trials, and the best were chosen. And they've had enough time, humble time at Kasarani to prepare, well. So we believe they have recovered. You know, some time back, we used to do our trials today, and then within a week, we're traveling, and then within the next 2 or 3 days, you're competing. So there was not enough time for an athlete to recover. Yeah, but this time around, in my own assessment, the time that they've had leading to the competition is sufficient for them to recover and be able to perform. Yeah.
Well done on that. Of course, we are very happy that we have positive, especially me, I was stuck there whereby the allowances have been sorted this morning. That was very important.
They have been sorted this morning. Have
then with the
received calls, people have their allowances.
Yes.
Yeah, and
whatever they do with it in Scotland, you remember what the British High Commissioner told you. Scotland is a very hyper place, very fun. So don't finish all your money. You might be needing it to use it back at home. Yes. But of course, thank you very much, SG. And SG, there's just one concern as you wind up this talk, and of course my director will just be preparing something about motorsport. There's some cutaways about motorsport, especially for action for motorsport. Athletes normally during interviews, I think we have had this conversation for a long time. How are we, I know you're already, as NOC, you're training some of athletes, how to present themselves. Now, me, I'm in the opinion that kama Kiswahili, kama Kizungu ni ngumu, ongea Kikale. Kama Kizungu ni ngumu, ongea Kiluya. Yes. Kama Kizungu, ongea tu Kijaluo. Kama ni nini ngumu, ongea tu Kikabras. Kama ni ngumu, ongea tu Kiswahili.
Yes.
Where are we with that, of course, in a minute? Because what we see on athletes, how they struggle to express themselves. And I'm sure these events have translators.
Yes.
Sorry to put you on the spot on this.
Not really. It's a concern to everybody. We've always advised athletes, please use that language that you are comfortable with. If they don't understand, that's not your problem. They should get somebody to translate because they're the ones interested in listening to you. Yeah, we see Spain or even people speaking different languages.
French, Spanish.
They speak their language and they have a translator. Nobody forces them to speak English. So it's just our athletes would also want to feel that they can speak English. But we've always told them, please use that language that you're comfortable with. Was it in Tokyo? One of our athletes just spoke Kekale, and Lilian Odira just spoke Luo, and people were happy. Yeah, it's only that sometimes we don't really, maybe it's the way we've been brought up. We don't feel that when you speak your own language, you are good enough for you. Let me say you're up there in the social status. But be wherever you are. What is important is what you did in the field, not what you say. True. Yeah, we can always work it out later. Yeah, so it's something we have brought in media guys. We've told them, teach them how to handle interviews, and of course speak the language that you're comfortable with. Yes, we should be proud of our culture, whether it's Luya, Luo, Kalenjin. You say it. Yeah,
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, because it's not the language; it's the skill that we're looking at. We are not in a communication class or a debate class, so
that's a bonus. Speaking to them is a bonus. You've already done what you've done in pitch.
Yeah. If it were a language, then they wouldn't be coming to Kenya.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
They would be going to English, to England or other countries.
Yes.
Yeah. So we keep on encouraging them, and we will keep on encouraging them to speak and converse in a language that they feel
very comfortable with.
Yes.
Asante sana. The National Olympic Committee of Kenya. Secretary General John Ogolla, of course, here to paint the beautiful picture about how Kenya, where we are in terms of the 2026 CommonWealth Games that will be starting or beginning on the 23rd of July all the way into early August in a beautiful country, Scotland, in the city of Glasgow, where athletes will be participating in basketball, wheelchair, gymnastics, ball, boxing, judo, netball, swimming, paraswimming, cycling, weightlifting. All those athletics, of course, will be part of the menu, and Kenya, of course, is expected to take the center stage. So thank you very much, National Olympic Committee, of course, for really ensuring the athletes receive the best in terms of preparations. And now we wait, of course, for them to harvest all those medals, and then, of course, to welcome them back here in early August after they have done Kenya proud on the international stage. So thank you so much, Bwana Secretary General, for your time and also for your insights of where, of course, Team Kenya is in terms of the CommonWealth Games. Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
Karibu sana. Of course, we always feel welcome here. Pia hapa, this is the home of Radio 47, is the home of Cape Studios, is the home of Digital 47. So feel at home.
Asante sana.
Thank you so much.
Tarudi.
Asante, tarudi sana. This is